Right, today is the day. So several months of hard work has accumulated to this, the grand finale. This will be the last part of our M151 restoration vlog. We have come a long way since we started this project towards the end of 2021. And we could not have done it without the incredible expertise and support of the guys at Fahrzeugtechnik Günther. I would like to thank them for the incredible amount of work and patience they put into this project, and for letting me actually having a peek over their shoulders to document everything they did. In this last video, I will bring you up to speed with everything that has been done since the engine was disassembled. As you might remember, we found some odd faults in the engine setup and some mysterious grooves inside the engine block, which forced us to replace the pistons and have the cylinders re-drilled and honed. In order to get the cylinders drilled and honed, we had to wait for the new pistons and gaskets first. After they had arrived, they, together with the engine block, went to an engine builder, and there they were measured so that the cylinders could be made to fit precisely the diameter of the new pistons. We also ordered a new clutch disc, a new thermostat casing, and a new radiator. As the new radiator came in black, it was repainted in olive drab in order to come as close as the original as possible. Only the lamella in the middle would remain black. A couple of weeks later, we received our new and re-drilled engine block. The faulty grooves were now gone, and the new cylinders fitted perfectly. With the engine block back at the workshop, it was time for reassembling the engine as a whole. First, the engine block got a good jet wash in order to get rid of any excess residue. The first major part added back was the crankshaft, followed by the camshaft and the flywheel. Next up were the pistons. A little while later, the cylinder head and the valves were prepared to be bolted back on the engine block. The cylinders were then adjusted in the right order. After adding the water pump, the oil filter, the vacuum pump, the exhaust manifold and other elements, the engine was ready to be reunited with the transmission. Two further parts of the power pack puzzle were reconnecting the alternator and the carburetor. Then the mud received 3 new fan belts. The freshly painted radiator was added to the power pack. The distributor and the distributor cap also found their way back. After completing the power pack, it was time to put it back into the car. After putting the engine back in, it was time to connect the exhaust. Also, we had reconnected all the wires and levers going to and from the power pack. Thankfully, the M151A1 still comes from an era when most of the technology was still mechanically based rather than electronically. But before getting our mod going, there was one more challenge ahead: the fuel tank. As I told you before, when we first inspected the fuel tank more closely, we had our doubts if it could be salvaged. But with the help of some magic potion, we were able to rescue it actually. And in the end, we were able to remove all the sludge from it so that it was usable once again. And here it is. The tank first received some base coating and some olive drab before it was painted in that parade green of our vehicle. The fuel sensor and the fuel pump were added first though. Then the fuel tank got a dash of the right color scheme. After the fuel tank was done, it was built back and connected. We were finally ready to go for the first test drive in the yard. It's definitely a great feeling to drive this rejuvenated M151A1 out of the workshop for the first time. Really, it really is. I have to admit, though, for me, someone who so far in his life has never ever driven a car that was built before the late 1980s, it takes some time to get used to it. I have to admit that. But I guess I will need a couple of test drives to really get used to it and to really get to know it. But what I can say for now is there's just a glorious feeling to actually driving this artifact. I cannot wait to really drive it on the road. Our M151A1 has already passed the German MOT, and we are now in the last throes of registering it. And after that, you will be able to see this genuine piece of history on the roads of Berlin once again. So this rollout concludes our little restoration series. I would like to take the opportunity to once again thank everyone that helped to bring our M151A1 back on the road. And if you want to see the rest of our little series and you haven't done so, I recommend to check out our YouTube channel and subscribe to it. And also come and visit us at the Allied Museum in Berlin-Dahlem. And now it is time to take this Ford Mud for another spin. So see you all on the roads of Berlin.